Okay, so my next phase, you were right in terms of that I did start getting more into the classic jazz box. I think after you spend like, let's say, what, 6, 7 years telling everybody, put your hands together, get on the dance floor, I started to get a little tired of the same thing over and over again. And
Okay.
I felt I was living a good life, but I was no longer challenging myself.
Mm.
So I started going back to what got me started in all of this. What are the musicians that I really admired? And John and Alice Coltrane came up because of their, I guess, just excellence in music as musicians, but also their
Mhm.
excellence as people. They're known for being super spiritual, for being super about humanity. They want their music to heal. And I just think those two things together sum up what I'm trying to do. So I started pursuance with that intent. In the process of it, a lot of the old legends that were people I knew, or specifically Reggie Workman,
Mm.
he told me that he had just got the NEA Jazz Master Award. So I was like, oh, cool, we're going to totally celebrate. So I go down to New School to celebrate with him. And then he just happens to lightly mention, oh, yeah, when you're 82, you can get it too. And I just can't like describe how it rubbed me so the wrong way. That's someone I know that played with Art Blakey, they played with John Coltrane, Alice Coltrane, all of these people, Dexter Gordon, is telling me he has to wait 82 years to receive a small award, a small amount to be cemented into history. So that kind of started me along the lines of adding more guests to the album while they were alive to show, I guess, to show a younger audience how the lineage of jazz is passed down. That is actually because of Ron and Reggie be mentoring Regina Carter and Dee Dee, all these people, like it all goes down to me and my generation. So, and then I just hope that with the power and the force of getting all these people together, as people get interested in me as an artist, they're forced to Google, well, who is Ron Carter? Well, who's Dee Dee Bridgewater? Well, Michelle Ndegeocello's here. I know funk music, but I don't know jazz. So that was my goal, to just kind of start leaving a legacy. Like if I died tomorrow, I didn't want the story to be incomplete of who I am as an artist. So that's what moved me next to Phoenix, if you keep going down the spectrum.
And there's some really beautiful things on Pursuance. Let's pause and listen to just a couple of excerpts. So that is a really beautiful project, and I did want to, before we get to the latest album, Phoenix, I wanted to ask you a little bit about one of the threads that I notice as kind of different on the surface, as we might say, Retox and Pursuance are. A common thread is that you bring in lots of guests. Um, in many cases, perhaps people who have been around longer and are more experienced, whatever that, that means a lot of things. Um, but I was wondering about, because of course when we hear you on January 19th, it's going to be, will it be the quartet or the quintet?
Probably quartet.
Okay, cool. Um, and I'm guessing that a lot of the elements, because you've got some tunes where there's a fair amount of production value with, spoken text being mixed in by recording. I'm guessing that there are some things you just can't bring to the stage for practical reasons, right? You're not going to have an entourage of guests with you. So I was a little curious for you as a musician. You've got that kind of that recording thread and then everything that you do as a live performer, and they kind of create a counterpoint with each other in the sense that when you're with your quartet, it's probably a different kind of experience than having all those guests on different tunes. First of all, is that true?
In my opinion, I would say no. There is some truth in the fact that who would want to see Patrice Rushing? Who would want to see Angela Davis standing there? Who would want to see? So in that regard, yeah, the magnitude of the presence of them is gone. But I also rap, and so in my Phoenix project, I speak the parts, and I also rap the parts that I feel. And as an entourage, my keyboard player has keyboards and stuff, so we get the full production of what happens on when we actually recorded it. Even though it doesn't sound like that, it is just the four of us in there playing, and then the guests put their parts on top. So it's actually, we're always a quartet for Pursuance and for Phoenix.
Great.
Yeah, so it's cool. But you were one of the only people that actually noticed that even in Retox, I was still frantic. Let's call it that.
I would say generous, but okay.
Yeah, most only recognize because of Pursuance now, but you were actually one of the few people that could see, even when I started off, this was a concept that really intrigued me.
It's great. It's great. Because I can imagine as a performer, it is gonna bring some kind of a different inspiration or something. I don't know.
To me, it brings the best out of me. I'm not just recording. I'm in the studio standing next to Ron Carter recording. I'm having Ron Carter tell me, oh, well, Coltrane played it this way. I'm having Reggie Workman say, well, he actually wrote this song for this person that we all knew.
Oh, wow.
In the morning. So when he got up, he always had a tea. Okay, when John Coltrane came in the room, did you feel a presence? Oh, not really. The things behind the artist that you can't understand, or like a Terry Lynn Carrington. She's someone that I'm respect her journey, respect her craft. So if she tells me the solo's not right, the solo's not right. You have a peer telling you that, then it can easily get into a debate. But from one of the things I admire about that generation is they used to tell all these stories of, they went to the jazz clubs and they sat in with Art Blakey and that's how they got the gig, and Monk was there, and we used to go to Bird's house and practice. And these days we can't do that anymore. I mean, COVID did a whole thing, but no one's going, even to see Ron Carter play, you have to hone in on when you can see him. So I'm trying to find ways to recreate the way that they became great through these collaborations. So now we're collaborating on the CD, but also when I get off the phone with you, I'll just text Dee Dee, how you doing? How's it going? I'll stay in contact. Now I'm calling you every day asking, hey, I'm working on this. What do you think about it? So I'm looking for mentorship within the collaboration and the guest aspect. So I only consider guests that I feel the mentorship will continue.
Fantastic.